I'm Lauren with IndoorGardening.com, and today we're going to talk about plants that like to dry out. There are lots of plants out there that love to be watered constantly on a regular basis, but not everybody has that habit. Some people just like to leave their plants alone and let them sit there for days, weeks, months out of the year. And then when they feel like giving them water, they happen to remember it, that's when they want to give them water. These are the plants that are perfect for that kind of plant parent habits. First on the list is cacti. Cacti come in a variety of shapes, sizes, some with little prickly pokies on them, others without them. It really depends on the type of cacti that you get, what they're really going to like and what they're not going to like. Majority of cacti, however, are not going to need to be watered that often, and they are going to love to have a lot of light. So if you can meet those two conditions in your homes, these plants are going to grow really, really well for you. They also do not grow very quickly and can live for hundreds of years. They can become a family heirloom passed from family member to family member and have very little care requirements. So they're an amazing plant. You can get a whole bunch of different varieties of them in a variety of shapes and sizes and ages. It just depends on what is going to work best for you and your aesthetic in your home. But definitely if you're looking for an easy care, drought tolerant plant, cacti all the way. These next plants on the list, succulents, need a lot more water a lot more often than cacti, but they are still very, very drought tolerant. So they can get very large as well, although not as large as a cacti. And they also have a variety of colors and shapes and textures to them as well. You can play with the variety a little bit more. Depending on the type of succulent that you get, they may need a little more light or a little less light. It really just depends. But they do come in a wide variety of colors, and they tend to get more coloration the more light that you give them. So this can be really fun if you want to see different changes and whatnot with your plants. Just because you don't want to water your plants on a regular doesn't mean that you don't want to have some interaction, some new growth, something going on with them. You're not looking for a plastic plant, you're looking for something that's going to be growing. And with succulents, they can definitely do that for you. It's also really cool with succulents because a lot of them you can take off some of their foliage and then grow all new plants from that as well. And you can see these cute little bundles of color growing, which is just incredible. Next on the list is ZZ plants. We have a whole care guide on ZZ plants for you, but they are also very, very drought tolerant plants. They have a whole bulbous root system that they can hold on to a lot of nutrients and water with, and that's where they'll keep everything for you. So that way when you give them the nutrients and the water, you don't have to give it to them again for a very, very long time. They like to be watered a bit more frequently than a cacti or a succulent, usually about once a month, every couple weeks to once a month, depending on the specific environment that you have going on. But for the most part, they're definitely very drought tolerant, and they like to be left alone. They are also slow growers, so there is that as well. If you don't want a lot of change, some big plant very quickly, then a ZZ plant is going to be one for you. They're also very low light tolerant. So if you have a darker corner that you want to put a plant in, a ZZ plant is definitely going to work for you. Another plant that is very lower light tolerant is a snake plant. Snake plants also are very, very drought tolerant. They are a form of Dracaena, so they can go for a long time without having a lot of water, and they don't necessarily grow very quickly as well. Especially if you put these plants in lower light, they'll take their time growing. They are going to grow a lot more quickly than a cacti though, so definitely keep that in mind. Another Dracaena that does really well in low light and doesn't grow super quickly is a lucky bamboo. They are very, very drought tolerant as well. They usually come in some type of pond or rock mixture, not necessarily a soil mixture. And you just give them water whenever you think about it, and they're going to continue to grow for you. They don't need a lot of light either. You can just put them in a dark corner. They'll grow for you over the course of a couple of years, but it'll take a long time for them to get big enough to actually look like they're doing anything. Now, if you want a bigger plant that grows a lot more quickly, that is very drought tolerant, a Diffenbachia is right up your alley. They get very huge, very lush jungle vibe leaves. They usually have some type of variegation going on with them, so you can usually get some type of green and white or pink and white, pink and green, something along those lines with them, so you can add a lot of foliage and a little pop of color at the same time. but they're very, very drought tolerant. You don't have to give them a lot of water very often because they have very thick stems and they can hold on to a lot with their big leaves in their thick stems. So definitely a really amazing plant. Hopefully one of these plants meets your environmental requirements today. Hopefully one of these will work in one of your rooms in your home. There are lots of different options out there. This is just a few that we gathered. If you would like more, definitely drop a comment down below and let us know. You can also check out indoorgardening.com. We have a lot more information over there for you, and we're always happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!